Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and man, I really appreciate you guys coming by the channel to spend a little time with me and watch the video. Really appreciate that. And guys, today we're going to be talking about some of the bass fishing YouTube channels out there that are just full of BS, to put it simple. There's not, I'm saying a lot, but there's a significant amount and a growing amount of YouTube channels out there that are not what they seem. And I want to talk about that in today's video and sort of maybe give you some advice on how to really discern what the best channels are and which are the ones that you probably shouldn't waste your time on. So we're going to get into that in today's video. Also guys, real quick, I wanted to give you a couple tips here as far as fall fishing coming up. There's two lures that I want to suggest that you guys try over the next couple months as far as going to be really good for fall fishing. One is this Megabass sleeper craw, guys. Fishing this little sleeper craw around docks, shallow brush, something like that. This is a really good lure for the fall time of the year. And also, please check out some of my Blaukat throwback jigs from Cumberland Pro Lures. Jigs are excellent lures in the fall time of the year, October, November especially. I consider the month of October probably the #1 month for jig fishing. So I'll put my Blaukat throwback jig link in the description of this video through Tackle Warehouse. So I appreciate you guys going or enduring those plugs there. Really appreciate it. Okay, guys, like a lot of you out there, I absorb and I consume a lot of bass fishing YouTube content because I want to learn too. It's like one thing about bass fishing, guys, you never learn it all. I don't care how long you've been doing it, you can still learn something. And I've been doing it for a long time, man. You guys know I talk about doing it for 50 years all the time. And it doesn't matter if I did it for 100 years, there'd still be a ton of stuff that I need to learn about fishing. So, you know, that from that standpoint, that I watch a lot of it too. But one of the things I want to talk about here today is the rise of new bass fishing YouTube channels, and you know, some that have been out there for a while that are not what they seem. They're basically, there's a lot of BS in them. They come across as good, solid information, but they're not. And there's two different reasons for that. Now, to the untrained eye, if you watch a certain bass fishing YouTube channels, you can watch one and they seem like, well, that guy knows what he's talking about. He's giving out some good information. But what a lot of people don't know is there is a segment of the bass fishing YouTube channels out there that are basically riding off the backs of other YouTubers. And what I mean by that is some YouTubers out there have realized that they don't have to really know that much about fishing to seem like they know a lot of it, because they will go to some legitimate bass fishing YouTube channels, guys that have really solid information, and they watch those videos and they absorb those videos, and then they regurgitate it. They regurgitate that same information that sort of maybe sounds a little bit different, put a different thumbnail, put a different title on it, but it's basically copycatted information from other legitimate channels. And I can pick it up in a second. A lot of people that are, you know, getting started in the sport, or maybe aren't quite as aware of it, they can't really pick up on that. So that's one of the things I wanted to be for you all to be aware of it. And I'll tell you a couple of different ways you can know if this is true or not. First of all, in a lot of situations, the best bass fishing YouTubers have a tournament background, because the tournament background is a proving ground for your theories and your opinions on bass fishing. Because like on my channel, I make it known all the time that my opinions that I give you guys and the information and facts that I give you guys are based upon my own personal opinion. Some of them may work for you, some of them may not for you, but I'm relaying the information that I have learned over a lifetime of bass fishing through fishing 50 years all across the country. I'm just relaying to you what works for me. And also, guys, if I'm relating a technique to you that I'm not that familiar with, I'll give credit where credit is due. I'll say that, you know, this is something I didn't figure out, such and such figured it out, and I, you know, incorporated it. If you have a YouTuber that tells you that and is transparent in how that information comes up, it lends legitimacy to it. But if you've got somebody out there that you don't hear that from, and they don't have much of a tournament background, but they sound like they're full of information, that's a really good indicator that they're not what they seem. And The tournament background can be from a variety of different sources out there. Like my tournament background is fishing the tour level professional circuits for 35 years, but my buddy Johnny Schultz, who's in his 20s and young, he had an extensive tournament background in his high school fishing and in his youth fishing, so he's got that to draw on. Everybody has different things that they can draw on, but really, really be aware of those YouTubers out there that don't have much of a background in tournaments. And I guess that when you're looking at it, it's like any information that you can absorb and use to catch more fish is legitimate. But I don't know. I think it just seems like to me that, in my opinion, if somebody has a bass fishing YouTube channel and they want to be a teacher and a mentor and an instructor to other people out there, I really think that there's got to be some credentials behind those particular people in order to legitimize that particular YouTube channel. That's why the best YouTube channels, as far as teaching, in my opinion, are from anglers that have an extensive tournament background. Because when you have an extensive tournament background, you have and I don't mean the tournament background in spotlighting for bass, because that's completely different. I don't hold any legitimacy on a YouTube channel for spotlighters. But what I'm talking about, when you have an in-depth, intimate knowledge of bass movement and behavior and seasonal patterns, and how to incorporate seasonal patterns into different lure genres, and to be able to relate how the unlimited amount of conditional changes and situational changes on the lake all require different approaches and strategies. It is a complex issue, and make no mistake about it, guys, bass fishing is the most difficult, complicated sport on this planet, simply because of the unlimited amount of controlled and uncontrolled variables in it. And that's why you can't fake yourself into coming across as a knowledgeable bass angler for people that understand bass fishing, because it's something that takes a lifetime to learn. I mean, you can't learn it just in a couple of years. It requires intensive study of season after season after season, and trying to figure out things, how you get reproducible results. And that only comes from experience and time on the water. And another genre of YouTubers that are starting to pop up there are what I call the ambulance chasers. One of the things that I've noticed a lot over the last year, there are an emerging number of YouTubers out there that don't give fishing tips. They don't have anything to do with fishing. All they do is they scour the internet looking for any type of thing that they can put breaking news on, or some type of controversial issue, or some type of thing that's going to get a rise out of people. And I'm not talking about like stuff what I do with Live Scope, and I'm critical of the tournament organizations for some of the decisions they make, because I think I've earned the right to do that over fishing for 35 years. But I've seen an emergence over the past year about these dudes out there that don't have any tournament background, they don't have any skin in the game, and they come across as these ambulance chasers that are trying to just put these sensational stories out there, simply to get clicks and views. And I guess, when you're talking about, running a YouTube business, I mean, there's an element to that that's going to allow them to be successful, and there's an appetite and there's a market for it. It's just like, back in the 80s when you had all those crazy talk shows out there, like, I didn't watch them, but the ones I'm talking about, where they, get guests on there that are just, they're just train wrecks. There's getting to be an emerging amount of YouTubers out there that, simply do that. So, you got to watch what you like is the thing about it. I mean, I'm not telling you guys what you should and shouldn't watch, but the main point of this video and the gist of this video is just pay attention to those copycats out there, because there's a bunch of copycat YouTubers out there that you probably wouldn't realize. A lot of people, you guys may have some YouTubers you really like to watch and that you really think know what's going on, but to the trained eye, it's not so much, because you can see that they're basically, it's just, there's some very subtle plagiarism there that's going on that the average viewer does not see, except the people that have done it for a long time can pick up right off the bat. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to throw that out there. I'll probably come up with my best YouTube channel list here before too much longer. It's been a long time since I've done that. And, I know that we're all limited in the amount of time that we have that we can watch YouTube videos. And I really appreciate you guys checking into intuitive angling. And guys, I know that some of the content that I put out here, a lot of people think the same thing, but it's not. I can assure you guys, when I go off on live scope, when I go off on environmental issues, when I go off on all the bad decisions that Bassmaster and MLF make, it's because I have a legitimate interest in, the preservation and the betterment of the sport. I've invested my life in it. I mean, literally, this is the only thing that I've done for the past 45 years. And when you are immersed in a profession like that and a career like that, you want to see it go on and on and on. So I have I always try to make sure that my intentions are for the best, even though sometimes it may seem I'm just doing videos out there for clicks. But I can assure you that my content is designed to, protect the sustainability of the sport. But anyway, really appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you very much for your support. We'll talk later.